Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video we're going to be focusing towards actually building the message bubble widget, which we're going to be using inside of our custom list view tile to actually display our actual message data in a beautiful way. For now it's just a text widget with some black text appearing, but by the end of this video we're going to be able to display the text in a very beautiful manner. Since these are going to be reusable widgets, I'm going to be placing them inside of their own file, and we're going to be creating two distinct widgets, one in this video and the other one in the next one, where in this video we're going to be tackling creating a widget which is going to display text inside of it in a very beautiful bubble. So with that said, let's get into it and let's see how to do it. So inside of our widgets folder we're going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this file message_bubbles ... With this I'll open the file up and I'll import our material package because we required. Once our material package is imported, I'll also import our timeago package. So for that, I'll do import and then timeago. And with this, I'll say as timeago. Once that is done, I'll also import our models. And the only model that we require is going to be our /models. And then from there /chat_message model. Once that is done, I'm going to create the class that's going to be for our text message bubble, and that's going to be called text message bubble, and then it's going to extend a stateless widget. With this, I'll open the class definition up, and I'm going to add the properties to our class, which are going to be a final boolean called isOwnMessage. So similar to what we did before, isOwnMessage would just dictate whether the message that's being rendered is our message that we sent by ourselves or was somebody else. Then we'll have also a chat message, which is going to be called message. With this, we'll also have a final double, and then I'll do height, and also a final double, and I'll do width. And now that this is done, I'm going to actually create the constructor for the class. So the constructor for this class is going to be similar to what we've been doing before for some of the reusable widgets that we've created, where all of the arguments are going to be required named arguments. So I'm going to do required and then this dot isOwnMessage. With this, I'll do required this dot message, then required this dot height, and then required this dot width. And finally, the last thing that I'm going to do is add the build function, which is going to be responsible for actually building our widget. So our widget is going to return a container, and we'll leave that to be an empty container for now. But before I can define anything for the container, I want to define a variable which is going to hold the color scheme of the gradient that our container is going to have as its background. So if I go to the completed version of the app, you can see that for messages sent by us, there's a bluish gradient, and for messages sent by other people, we have this grayish white kind of gradient. So that's what the color scheme is. So the color scheme is going to be a list of colors, and exactly a list of colors that are going to be two. And one is going to be the start color, and then one is going to be the end color. So I'll say that our list of colors is going to be a underscore color scheme, and I'll set that equal to two different values depending on the value of isOwnMessage. So if it's our own message, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a list where we'll have the first color be color.from RGBO 036 or 136, sorry, 249 and 1.0. And then the next color is going to be color.from RGB, and it's color.from RGBO, and then it'll be 51, or not 51, it'll be 0, 82, 218, and then 1.0. With this, I'll add a comma here, and I'll add the bracket here, or the other condition for the terminate statement. And if the color is not our own message, then what we're going to be doing is that we'll have a different kind of a list. So I'll copy this list here, and I'll paste it in again here, and I'll add a semicolon at the end, which will reformat everything. And then what I'll do is that I'll remove this color double thing that I did, and I'm going to say that now if the color scheme, if it's our own message, then the color scheme is going to be this list. If it's not, then it's going to be this list. And for the other list, if the message is not our own, then the colors are going to be 51, and then they're going to be 49, then it's going to be 68 and 1.0, and it's going to be for the other one 51, 49, 68, and then it's going to be 1.0 as well, and do command save. So now that we have the color scheme defined, I'm going to go to our container and I'm going to say that our container is going to have a height. The height is going to be the height that gets passed in, and to that height we're going to add the message dot content dot length, and then I'm going to take that content's length and I'm going to divide that by 20, and I'll multiply that with 6.0. This was just a calculation that I did myself to give each container an appropriate size, and this is the calculation that worked for me, so that's why I did it this way. And for some reason it's giving me an error, and that's because I need to remove the parentheses here. Alt-Shift-F command save. Now that this is done, the next thing I'm going to do is define the width, which is going to be equal to the width that gets passed in. Then the padding is going to be edge and sets dot symmetric, and then I'm going to say that we're going to have horizontal padding of 10 pixels from each side. With this, I'll define the decoration, which will let us to define the actual background for our container. It's going to be of type box decoration, and then we'll define a border radius, which will be border radius dot circular, and then we'll have 10. With this, I'll do a comma at the end and do command save. Now with this done, the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to add a gradient. The gradient is going to be of type linear gradient, so that means that we're going to have 2 points in between which the gradient is going to interpolate. And then I'm going to have the colors, and the colors are just going to be our color scheme list. With this, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to define the stops. So where does one color begin and stop? So I'm going to say that the first color kind of starts at 0, ends at 0.30, and then the next color goes from kind of 0.30 to 0.70. We have this transition, and from 0.70 onwards, it's the second color inside of our list. So Alt-Shift-F command save. The number of stops correspond to the number of actual elements that you have inside of your colors list. With this, I'll define the beginning. So where is my gradient going to begin from? I'm going to pass in alignment.center left. So it's going to begin from the center left. And then you might have guessed it, we'll define a stop as well. And then for the end value, sorry, not stop, it's going to be alignment dot and then center right. Once that is done, I'm going to add a comma, Alt-Shift-F command save, and then we have defined the decoration successfully. So with this done, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back to my custom list view tiles file, and there where we're rendering our text widget for if our message type is the text, I'm going to replace that, and I'm going to now render my actual text message bubble. So I'll go to the top and I'll import my widget by saying import /widgets and then message bubbles. Then I'll come down and I'll say that when our message type is text, then I'm going to render a text message bubble. Now we have to tell it whether it's our own message. For that, we pass in the is own message variable. If it's then we pass it for the message variable, the message. Then for the height, I'm going to pass it the device's height times 0.06. And then for the width, I'll actually pass in the width and do Alt-Shift-F command save. Now with this done, I'll kind of restart the application. And if I go to the chat, you're going to see that now we get this kind of beautiful chat bubble. So now if I go back to my message bubble, we have to add the actual text widget inside of the message bubble so that we can actually show it. So to do that, what I'll do is that after I've defined my box's decoration, I'll define the child for my container, and it's going to be a column. And the column is the reason because we are going to have two children inside of it. One, the actual message of the text or the content, you could say, and then the other is going to be the text that tells us when the message was sent. So I'm going to define the main axis alignment for my column, and I'm going to say that it's going to be main axis size.max. Then I'm going to define the main axis alignment, which is going to be main axis alignment dot, and then from there space around. And then cross axis alignment, which is going to be cross axis alignment dot start. With this, I'll define the children's list now. So we're going to have two children. One is going to be the actual text content, so I'll create a text widget and I'll say that it's going to be message.content. And then the other one is going to be a style. And the style is going to be of type text style. And then we're going to have color be colors.white. And with this, I'll do Alt-Shift-F after adding a comma here. And then the next widget is going to be another text widget, and I do not know why it's giving me an error. Let me see why. Oh yeah, I forgot to add a parentheses here. And then the next widget is also going to be a text child. So I'm going to copy this text and I'm going to paste it in again. But this time I'm going to say that the text is going to have a value of time ago. So that's the package that we have, .format. And then we're going to pass it the date, and the date is going to be our message.sent time. With this, I'll also define the text style, and this time the color is going to be color, and then colors.white 70, and do Alt-Shift-F, Command save. And as you can see, now our application is showing the message perfectly. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quickly go back out of this chat by dragging back, and I'm going to go back to my Firestore project. I'm going to create a new window, and I'm going to go to Firebase, and then I'll extend it here, and I need to go to the console actually. So now once I'm at Firebase, I'm going to select the appropriate project for which I'm developing the application. I'm going to go to the Firestore database, and I'm going to go to the one of the chats that we are a part of. So for example, the first chat, and I'm going to go back and see which user I'm logged in as. So if this is Hussein, if you can see Hussein, that means that we are logged in as the other user. And the other users should be, if I go to the users, and I do not know why it's so slow, but just hold on with me. Maybe authentication can let us know of what ID we want. So if I go to the authentication, but it's going to be Hussein@preneur.com, which is this ID J0. So if I go back to Firestore and artificially add a new message to one of the chats which Hussein is a part of, so chats, this chat, and Hussein is a part of that. So I'm going to take, for example, the other chat for which Hussein is a part of, and this other user. I'm going to copy this other user's user ID. I'm going to go to the messages, and I'm going to see what the message was sent. Hi. So I'm going to now add a new document, auto ID, and I'm going to say that the message content is going to be nice to, or how's it going. Then I'm going to say that it's going to have a sent_time, which will be a timestamp of today's date, and then the time could be just, I would say, like 18:34:25, for example. And then we'll have the actual type, which will be text. And then we'll also actually have one more thing, which is going to be the sender ID. And the sender ID will be the one that we copied and click save. So this is the message that was sent by us, one of the users that was logged in. I assume that since we can see Hussein as one of the chats that we're having with, so if Hussein is one of the members, then the other member is bound to be our user's ID. So with this, if I restart my application and go, you're going to see that now we're seeing how is it going as the last message that was sent. And if I click on it, you can see that the message sent by other people is shown in a gray background, but the message sent by us is shown as how's it going. And since we wrapped everything in a single child scroll view, it's kind of giving us the ability to scroll as well. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and in the next video we'll work towards creating the message bubble, which will allow us to actually display an image as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.